Professor Gina Rippon analyzed 1400 brain scans. She found no brain with all male traits and no brain with all female traits. Your menstrual cycle does not affect your cognitive ability. That is not an opinion. This is data. This is a data from 4,000 participants. The Federal Reserve studied 10,000 economists over 30 years. Amongst them, the most productive group they found was Welcome back. If this is your first time here, let me catch you up. In video 1, we met the $342 trillion question, the Cinderella complex, and the rural mindset, the outdated software still running in our homes, schools, and the boardrooms. In video 2, South Africa's glass anchor, Latin America's machismo ceiling breakthrough, China's leftover women brain drain, Japan's golden cage. In video 3, Germany's tax system and how it is incentivizing women to stay home. Italy's blank resignations forcing women out of jobs. Russia's women filling a wartime gap with zero legal protection from the domestic violence. In video 4, India's marriage dowry of education. Pakistan's doctor brides. Iran's engineered blockage for women. 67% graduates, just 19% workforce. Saudi Arabia's supply shock and Afghanistan's total erasure. In every case, the pattern is the same. It is never about women's ability, it is always about the system surrounding them. If you are interested, I mentioned the playlist here and in the description. Today, in this final video, we settle the last two arguments the old mindset uses to justify itself. And then we ask, what does a rational person actually do with all of this? The two arguments, you have heard them your entire life, at dinner tables, in boardrooms, in YouTube comment sections. First, women are too emotional, they have biological constraints. And second, mothers are not productive. Scientific researchers settle both gracefully. Let me show you. Have you ever been told that you cannot make a big decision during that time of the month? The science on this is clear. A massive study analyzed nearly 4,000 women during their menstrual cycles. They tested on intelligence, attention, problem solving. The result? Zero difference. Your menstrual cycle does not affect your cognitive ability. That is not an opinion. This isn't data. This is a data from 4,000 participants. But the biology argument goes deeper than this. Some people claim that men and women have biologically different brains, that women are wired for empathy and men for logic. Professor Gina Rippon, a cognitive neuroscientist at Aston University, analyzed 1400 brain scans. She found no brain with all male traits and no brain with all female traits. Her conclusion?
A gendered world produces a gendered brain. I have to stand up in front of you today and say I do not know the difference between a male and a female brain.
When we see differences between male and female behavior, those differences are not hardwired at the birth. They are shaped by the world we grow up in. The brain is plastic. It adapts to our environment. Raise girls in a world that tells them they cannot do math, their brains develop accordingly. Not because of biology, because of the environment. 1400 brain scans kills this biology excuse. Now let's move to the second argument. Don't hire mothers, they are distracted, not productive. The Federal Reserve studied 10,000 economists over 30 years. Amongst them, the most productive group they found was mothers with 2 or more children. They said motherhood is a crash course in management, in multitasking, prioritizing, operating on minimal margin. The old mindset calls mothers a liability. The data calls them the most productive group in the room. Indra Nooyi ran PepsiCo, one of the world's largest companies. That too while raising 2 daughters. She said it was hard, but she proved it is possible. Sheryl Sandberg, the then COO of Meta, reframed the whole debate. She said the problem is not women in the workplace. It is men not doing their share at home. According to her,
I think a world that was run where half of our countries and half of our companies were run by women would be a better world.
There is a deeper pattern underneath all of this. The rural mindset does not just block women from the outside, it operates through a silent transmission. generation after generation. It teaches young girls that their primary currency is the marriage market, not the global workforce. Not loudly declared, quietly encoded into choices before girls are old enough to question them. This is the Cinderella complex we discussed in the previous videos. Across cultures, girls are steered toward appearance based investment before they can even ask why. And here is the economic irony. Dermatological research shows that the glow the beauty industry sells is largely a byproduct of health, good blood circulation, sleep, nutrition, the same things that fuel cognitive performance. The Cinderella conditioning does not just misallocate attention, it undermines the one asset that appreciates the most, the mind. There is nothing wrong with wanting to look good. A good appearance signals hygiene, health, self respect. And that expectation should apply to men too, just as much as to women. Looking good is not vanity. The problem is the strategy. If health is the target, good sleep, nutrition, movement are the keys to achieve it. Then beauty follows as a natural consequence. Beauty is not a product you apply on the skin. It is a profit you earn with investment on health. So what is the takeaway from 5 videos covering many regions in the world? The barriers stopping us from the $342 trillion prize are not biological. Women are not naturally less capable. The barriers are structural, cultural. Umakoti, Rabanmatu, Shengunu, Parayadhan. These labels are not just the descriptions of women's limitations. They are fingerprints of the rural mindset that has been running the world's software for too long. Picture a packed sports stadium filled with talented graduates, both men and women, which means the stadium is half full of skilled women. But the barriers which we talked earlier are only allowing a quarter of them to play. The rest are on the bench, sidelined by outdated coaching strategies. To the men watching, we need to stop thinking about tradition and start thinking about utility. We are losing money and progress by keeping women on the bench. Yes, we have different genders, and that is fine. But we are humans first, gender second. When out of 100 graduates, 58 women in South Africa and 67 in Iran, the data is not whispering, it is screaming. The world has moved from the muscle economy to ideas economy. Some may still argue that women are inferior. Others may still say men and women are simply different. The American Psychological Association published a landmark review, the Gender Similarities Hypothesis. After decades of cognitive tests across thousands of participants, the finding is men and women are fundamentally alike on the vast majority of psychological variables. There is zero difference in general intelligence, problem solving, or complex reasoning. Men and women are born with the same exact potential for logic, ambition, and leadership. Yes, on average, men have more physical strength for certain tasks, but we no longer live in the muscle economy. In the ideas economy, the traits that generate wealth are pattern recognition, strategic thinking, innovation, are completely gender neutral. And in some traits, women actually lead. Social sensitivity, emotional intelligence, verbal fluency, episodic memory. These are not just soft skills. These are competitive advantages in this modern era. You sometimes hear men build the roads, the buildings, the infrastructure. Without men, none of this would exist, which is not wrong. But this argument forgets something essential. When those builders went back home, someone else was doing the invisible work, cooking, cleaning, raising children, caring for elders. These works were not counted, not paid, not even acknowledged. The global economy ran on a massive hidden subsidy, the unpaid labor of women. The men who built infrastructure deserve credit for their work. But here is the question we rarely ask. Without someone reliably managing the home, would those men have contributed at the scale they did? If the answer is no, then some of the credit belongs to the people who carried the home. The problem was never that one gender worked and other did not. The problem is that society valued one type of work and ignored the other. Building a society is teamwork, and like in any team, tasks should be allocated by skill, strength, and willingness, not by gender. And here is the hypocrisy part. Deep down, we already accept this logic, we just don't apply it consistently. Think about nepotism. We instinctively dislike it. Why? Because we believe merit, talent, skill, effort should determine success, not birthright or connections. If nepotism is wrong because it lets an average person skip the line while a talented one waits outside, then gender based barriers are also wrong for the same exact reason. True equity is the ultimate expression for a free market. The best ideas, the best leaders should rise to the top, regardless of the packaging. Now, some curious men might wonder, should we even help women for anything? Is that our job? That's actually a great question, and the answer is simple. Help is not gender specific concept. It never was. Aristotle, the Greek philosopher, said it best. Every time you help someone, you are not just serving them, you are building yourself. Like going to the gym. The weights don't get the benefit, but you do. Ralph Waldo Emerson, the American philosopher, put it even more beautifully, and I love this quote. He said, "No man can sincerely try to help another without helping himself." Think about that. If you help someone to prepare for a job interview, you sharpen your own thinking. If you help someone carry a heavy load, you build your own muscles, your own strength. The help flows outward, but the growth comes back to you. So the real question is not, should I help women? The real question is, do you have the capacity? If you have, then go for it, because by helping someone, you are eventually helping yourself, becoming a better person, a better character. But, and this is important to note, help must always be voluntary. Everyone around you is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Men, women, everyone. Now let us get back to our topic of thinning the lens of gender biasness. The minimum rationale is straightforward. Stop manufacturing obstacles for women. If a home is a necessity for both men and women, then maintaining it is also a shared responsibility. If men enjoy freedom of movement and choice, women should too. And don't exploit physical strength as a license for control. Violence, harassment, and coercion against women are not tradition, they are crimes. To the women and girls watching, the $342 trillion opportunity is real and it is waiting. A rational representative does not wait for society to write her story. She writes her own. She analyzes the world around her, invests in her mind, and builds her own foundations that no one can take away. Christine Lagarde, the president of the European Central Bank, collapsed the entire debate into one sentence. She said, "Women empowerment is a moral imperative, but more importantly, it is an economic imperative." In this global economy, the greatest asset you will ever own is yourself. So invest in your mind, reclaim your time. In the next series, we go deeper. Reverse socialization, the rational representative, the motherhood productivity paradox. We will use the largest scientific meta-analysis ever published to map the real differences and the vast similarities between men and women. Regarding the women workforce participation, yes, government policies are one of the prime factors. But if we depend solely on governments, it will take another 123 years to achieve the parity we are aiming for. We have to ask ourselves, do we really have that kind of time? But there is a backdoor to this system, a glitch in the matrix, one that can force this update faster than any politician could. It is happening inside homes right now. Next series, we build the solution. See you there. If you made it through all 5 videos, you are not just informed, you are a part of the update. Here is my question for you, and I genuinely want to hear your answer. After watching this series, what is the one thing that you are going to do differently? It can be small, talk to your daughter about STEM or her career choices. Split the housework. Challenge a stereotype at work. Just one thing. Write it in the comments, because change doesn't start with governments. It starts in our homes.